Well, folks, today we're down on the Alabama Gulf State Park Pier, and we got David Thornton, and David's been giving us some tips on how to find and how to catch fish down here. But David, one of the problems is we're a long way from that water. How far does the pier where you're fishing set from the water?
The deck of the pier is 20 feet off the water, and that's a little higher than the old pier was. And the railing is 3.5 feet higher than that. So we got about 24, 25 feet down to the water when you lean over.
All right, David, when you catch a nice redfish or Spanish mackerel or king mackerel or some of these fish, how do you get them up? I mean, what keeps you from losing them? It looks like they jump off having to reel them up that high.
Yeah, sometimes they do. They'll break off or fall off or whatever. And one of the ways we have come up with to eliminate that problem is with a lift net like this. It's a 30-inch diameter ring with a basket, essentially, of heavy cord so that toothy fish don't bite through it too easy. And we've got about 30 feet of heavier rope, and I can pull a 40-pound redfish up in this if I have to.
So the angler leads the fish up to the side of the pier and has him on top, and you've already got the net down and in the water, and then he just guides that fish into the net, right?
Exactly. It's a team effort between the angler and the netter or gaffer. And what you want to do is position the fish directly over the net so that you can lift it up under him and cradle him and then haul him up with the rope.
Now, I know y'all catch an awful lot of redfish down here at certain times of the year, especially during the fall and winter, and a lot of times in the spring and summer too. And the limit on redfish is 2 in Alabama, is that right?
It's 3, actually.
3.
Yeah.
All right. And so I notice a lot of people catch a lot more than 3, and then they turn them back, but instead of just throwing them off a pier, why do y'all let them down in the net and release them that way?
Well, the impact of dropping a fish from 25 feet would be a pretty bad belly buster for anybody that's jumped off a diving board can attest to. So what you'd want to do is for the safety of the fish and the health of the fish, is to lower that fish back down in the water and pump him a few times, give him a little resuscitation over his gills, and usually they'll turn and swim out. And there's nothing a better feeling than releasing a fish that's 40 inches long or something like that.
And y'all letting them back down in this net that we just pulled them up in, so that they don't have the hard impact of hitting that water, right?
Exactly.
How many redfish have you caught and released in a day?
Oh, up to a 6 or 8 is easy some days, yeah.
How many big redfish that will weigh from 12 to 25 pounds have you seen caught off this pier in one day?
Upwards of 100 some days, yeah. Some days it's really gets to be hectic. There'll be so many people hooked up at one time, maybe 24 anglers at once, and lines crossing, and inevitably some of those are lost, but quite a few of them are put on the pier.
And a lot of times you can catch these same redfish and Spanish and king mackerel and bluefish and flounder, speckled trout, white trout off the beaches, off the jetties, and just wading out into the surf. And you teach folks where to fish, how to fish, and what baits to use, don't you?
That's right. Alabama, even though it's got just not much coastline, we have a lot of fishing opportunities and variations in the beaches and all. Everything from pier fishing out here in 25, 30 feet of water to fishing on the beach, surf casting, several nice jetties to fish from, and just a lot of good beaches.
Now, you take families, I know, and teach little kids, big kids, grandpas and grandmas, and anybody else that wants to learn how to fish down here. And how do people get a hold of you?
They can reach me either by calling, phone area code 251-458-2775, or they can email me through pierpounder@gmail.com, or they can go through Distraction Charter's website, and that's at orangebeach.com or gulfshores.com.
Now, David, the thing about the Alabama State Park Pier, you can catch something down here at any time of the year, any time of the day or night. It stays open all night long too, doesn't it?
That's right. It's a 24/7, 365 facility, and the fishing is almost good that often.
And what does it cost to fish off the pier, David?
$8 a day for an adult, and children under 12 are free fishing with a paying adult.
And you have to have a pier license, don't you, if you're not an Alabama resident?
That's true. You can buy a Pier license, which is good for a whole year, for a fraction of what regular saltwater fishing license costs.
And they also have trip license, 3-day trip license, don't they?
Yes, yeah.
And it's very inexpensive. So if y'all want to come down and catch some fish while you're at the beach, get a hold of David and he can sure show you how.
Thank you.